அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். என் தமிழ் உங்களுக்கு அவ்வளோ நல்லா புரியாது, உங்கள் மாதிரி பேசக்கூட முடியாது. ஆனால் கண்டிப்பாக வசந்தி தேவிக்காக நான் பேசுகிறேன். ஏன் பேசுகிறேன்னா, ஒரு 2 வாரம் முன்னால் நான் அவங்களுக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணேன். எப்போவுமே சொல்லுவேன், நீங்கள் வரலையே என் கூட, இங்கே போவோம் வெளியே. அப்போ சொன்னாங்க 2 வீக்ஸ் வெயிட் பண்ணு பதர், நீ நான் இந்த ஆகஸ்ட் மிடில் அப்படி வருவேன், என் ஃபேமிலி வருது, ஸோ கொஞ்சம் வெயிட் பண்ணி நான் 2 வீக்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறம் கூட வெளியே போகிறேன். சரி மேடம் அப்படி தான் பண்ணுங்கன்னு. இன்றைக்கி அவங்க பர்மனெண்ட்டாக போயிட்டாங்க, நம்மளெல்லாம் விட்டுட்டு. ஸோ ஐ எம் வெரி சேட் அபவுட் இட். நான் உங்களுக்கு அடிக்கடி பார்க்கல, பட் ஃபோனில் கண்டிப்பாக பேசிகிட்டே இருப்பேன், அட்வைஸ் கேட்பேன். ஸோ வாட் ஹேப்பன்? Both of us are activists. I call myself an activist, which I should not when I talk about Vasanthi Devi. However, what I want to say, she only honed my activism. She told me what is right and what is wrong, which is wonderful. But as the previous speaker said, but there was a lot of space for criticism. I know when she was the Vice Chancellor of Manumban University, I told her a few things, and she never got angry. She said, okay, that's your view. Okay, I will hear it. To me, that was amazing. Anybody else would say, I know it, who are you to tell me, or some kid of a thing, don't tell me all this. But she never said that. She said, Badar, tell me what you want to say. I said, I'm sorry, you're not angry, but I do want to tell you this. So I always say, even God Almighty, I don't know if He'll forgive me for having told her what I did. However, she was also then she came with me to a school that I run in Gudvancheri. It's called Roshni Matriculation School. Roshni and Velchamam. So she came with me. I said, I'm sorry, it was like a drive in the wilderness. There were no roads. It was a pain in the neck getting to that school, a little hamlet. So I said, sorry Vasanthi, I'm dragging you out here. What will I do? If you can go, I can also go, she said. I got very nervous. I said, look at me and look at her. And she said, I can also go. Why not? I want to come and see your school. That's why I'm here. So she came for the annual day. And the other day I told my teachers, I said, can you take some pictures out of Vasanthi Devi? And they said, அவங்க தாங்க ரொம்ப பியூட்டிஃபுல்லாக இருப்பாங்க, ஒரே சிரிப்பாங்க எப்போவுமே, the laughing face. அவங்க பிக்சர் வேணுமா? I said, ஆமாம் அவங்க பிக்சர் தான் வேணும், அவங்க தான் வசந்தி தேவி. So they remember her as a smiling face. She never got angry. At least with me, oh my God, she was something else, she told me. And same thing, I was in the MIDS. He's here. I was a trustee with her. Half the time I didn't even know what social sciences was, but I just sat there quietly because Dr. Kurian had put me there. So I was there. But every time Dr. Vasanthi Devi made a intervention, that's when I learned. Then I'd go later and ask her, I didn't. She said, what? I said, all this. Now you know what that institution stands for. I said, yes madam, you should come more often to these meetings. Then I also learned so much. I'm quite a nannadi, I don't know anything about all this. She always protected me everywhere I went. And at the State Commission for Women, I was a member when she was the chairman. I think Sudha remembers. Sudha is not here? Yeah. There was a little misunderstanding and whatever it was, but some people didn't come for the meeting. But I went. I said, how can I not go for Vasanthi's meeting? And I'm also a member. So she said, I knew you would come. I said, ma'am, little problem. No, I know you, Badar. You will come. You are very defiant. Don't I know you? She said. Thank you, ma'am. But I must share with you one thing. All these, a few writ petitions I had filed in the court against all this Muslim law and stuff. எப்போவுமே சண்டை போட்டுட்டே இருக்கேன் அந்த கம்யூனிட்டி கூட, because womenக்கு gender justice வேணும்ன்ட்டு. But who gave me the most sensible, sane advice on how to deal with the community was Vasanthi Devi. She always told me, சும்மா clash பண்ணாங்க. I said, I'm not clashing. I read one newspaper also what you said. Don't clash, Badar. And she told me very sweetly on how I should handle that community, which till today I think is very useful. I will never forget her for that. that she took interest, and she never said, yeah, Ninella Santa Poda, which normally people would say. She never said that. She calmed me down and she said, in the Mata Pesane, Apata, you will get your work done. You want to change in the law? No. It will happen, and it is happening, I can see it. No shouting and no screaming. Talk softly, and she told me how I should handle them. Literally teaching me a little bit of mediation itself on what I should do. So I think my mediation went back to those days when she told me how I should handle the community. I will never forget her. This is one very great thing in my life, which I accepted what she said because it was so sane. Literally, she was like a mentor to me. Though I never met her that often. I only spoke to her on the telephone very often. And before I finish, I must say, Ramzan and Bakri, the first one to call me is Vasanthi Devi. She'd send a message, and if I did not reply to the message, then there would be a call to wish me. She said, many people, I said, no, nobody like Vasanthi Devi wished me. You're the first one who wished me. And one day, she didn't call. So early morning, the next day, she called me at about 6:37, and she said, you know what happened last night? I just called, but I think you didn't pick up. So here's to wishing you this happy Ramzan. What did you do today? Oh my God, she was so interested in my life. That's why I love her so much. Why, I don't know. I'm a small little thing in front of her. Who am I? Nobody. But she was so good to me. She was so nice to me and protective about me. That's the word I can use. She was my dear friend whom I never met so often, but I did talk on the telephone all the time. So here's to my mentor, and I salute her for that. She rests in peace. And God has already put her up there in heaven because she was such a wonderful person. Thank you for this opportunity.